H&M gotta have the worst quality clothes I've ever seen. First of all, they've slowly been getting more and more overpriced every year. Like, why is it like $50 for a pair of jeans when I used to be $30? And I always have to get 3 sizes bigger than I actually am, because the second it goes in the wash once, that's it. It's shrunk in half.
I don't know if it's just me, but does anyone else like actually feel sick when you walk into stores like Zara, H&M, even Mango, which just opened in the mall near me?
Shopping for clothing nowadays just absolutely sucks, especially if you're shopping for clothing at a mall. The quality for clothing right now is so poor. What happened to all of the fabrics now? Everything feels like plastic, and it makes me itchy, and I actually get rashes from some clothing. In fact, 10 years ago, I started getting something called tinea versicolor, which is kind of like a weird rash that you get on your skin. Usually people who get it, they live in more tropical climates, but I was getting it because of the poor quality in clothing. That's why now everything I wear is cotton, and it's usually old vintage clothing like this, because the quality is better, for one. Also, you don't itch and feel weird after. It's actually breathable. This is the way they used to make clothing back in the day. They don't make clothing as well as they did back in the day. Now it's horrible and it's expensive. Places like H&M are charging through the roof for crappy quality clothing. This is the topic for today's video, guys. So if you find yourself coming back to the channel also and enjoying content, hit that subscribe button, because I noticed that about 60 to 70% of you are not yet subscribed. So with that being said, let's dive into today's subject.
I'm shopping at Abercrombie for the first time since I was in high school. Mildly triggering, because this was like the coolest store back in the day, but I could never afford it because my family is middle class. Now that I'm here, I'm noticing two main things. One is that everything is kind of affordable, which was definitely not the case in high school. The other thing that I'm noticing is that everything is just a little bit shittier than you would want it to be. I'm seeing a lot of like loose threads on things and a lot of stuff that's just made out of 100% synthetic fabrics. The clothing just doesn't feel like this nice, firm, high quality that I associated with Abercrombie.
Abercrombie still does sell some high quality clothing.
Actually, I really like this dress and would totally buy it.
And I'm glad they've decided to start using normal lighting in their stores. But seeing so much cheap and low quality stuff there made me wonder, did clothing used to be better when I was a teenager? Not just at Abercrombie, but across the board. So I scoured eBay, Depop, and Poshmark for clothes from trusted brands of the 90s and 2000s. Then I went to those same stores and bought the 2024 version of each item.
Abercrombie was like legendary for really high quality denim.
To compare the old and new, I got help from Amanda McCarty.
I worked as a buyer in the fashion industry for about 20 years. In the span of my career, I saw how what we sell people changed. The two major changes, I would say, are one, nothing fits properly anymore. It's not you, it's nothing about your body, you're great. And two, the longevity of these clothes, even how you feel when you put them on, has degraded so much.
Nothing ever does fit really properly anymore. Everything is either bulgy in some areas, too tight on the sleeves, just made for, I don't even know, a specific type of build for a person. I don't really understand it, because back in the day, t-shirts were designed a very specific way so that everyone can actually wear them and they would fit properly.
Why did I go to the mall yesterday and there's like no cute clothes anymore? What's happening? What's happening to the world? I feel like fast fashion is not good anymore. I feel like the quality of everything online is terrible. And then in stores is also really bad. And there's like not really a lot of things anymore in store. So what are we doing? Like, where are we shopping at? Everybody let me know, because I think I'm like behind a little bit, because I ordered a bunch of shit on Fashion Nova the other day. It comes in, disgusting, terrible quality. Nothing looked good. Like, I literally returned everything. I was like, okay. And then I went to the mall looking for a dress, couldn't find nothing. I'm like, there used to be a time when you could literally go to the mall and find a whole outfit for the night. Like, you would go in it with nothing and you would leave with your whole fucking outfit. Now it's like you're lucky to find something cute anywhere that's good quality. Like, what's happening? I'm getting scared.
Fashion trends always make me laugh, because a lot of young people, as a form of rejection, to like fast fashion and just the styles of today and the prices of everything, started shopping for vintage. Vintage is actually very popular amongst younger individuals, people who are Gen Z and stuff, and even early and younger millennials. And a lot of that is because they're rejecting the new establishment, the new order of clothing designers and everything else like that, and trying to focus more on older clothing because not only is it better quality, they also like the fact that they didn't have to pay a company that gets all their stuff from a sweatshop in a third world country with poor conditions. But then now you see places like H&M now trying to design shirts that are more like the 90s and early 2000s, which is the style that a lot of young people like to wear. So it's like inescapable. You can't even escape fast fashion. They'll come for you. Whatever the young people are interested in, they're going to find a way to exploit it as much as they can.
The one thing I stopped doing after making content on clothes is buying them from the mall. I genuinely don't think there's a good reason apart from convenience to buy them from there. You can get clothes from so many different platforms: Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, Depop, AC Buy. The thing is, the clothes at the mall are just there to make a profit for the company. You're not getting nice clothes for the price you're paying. They always have a sale, but the clothes are still expensive and they're not very good.
That's true. Pretty much every single mall clothing store will have crazy sales all the time. It's because the inventory doesn't move, because the prices, again, for what they're actually being made for in sweatshops, are so detached from what people are actually willing to pay. That's why people will just buy vintage clothing. Even though some vintage clothing is expensive, it's still better than what you're paying for crappy shops like H&M.
H&M gotta have the worst quality clothes I've ever seen. First of all, they've slowly been getting more and more overpriced every year. Like, why is it like $50 for a pair of jeans when I used to be $30? And I always have to get 3 sizes bigger than I actually am, because the second it goes in the wash once, that's it. It's shrunk in half. And lastly, over time, the shirts become bleached. As you can see right here, this red is starting to turn orange. I have 2 other shirts that are gray and it's all orange here. Some people will know what I'm talking about. But bro, what is wrong with H&M? Their quality keeps going down and their prices keep going up. Like, lock in, guys.
Crappy quality, crappy dyes, and ultimately your shirts feel like plastic, because guess what? There's a lot of synthetic materials inside there.
I don't know if it's just me, but does anyone else like actually feel sick when you walk into stores like Zara, H&M, even Mango, which just opened in the mall near me? Urban Outfitters is another one. I feel like even though, you know, most stores are kind of fast fashion of some sort, it's getting to a point where like everything is crap and I feel disgusted when I walk in there. Like, Urban Outfitters always just felt like Shein to me, with like Aritzia prices, but even more expensive than Aritzia, which is ridiculous. To be honest, I probably get most of my clothes from Aritzia. I also thrift, go to consignment stores a lot whenever I'm in an area that's gonna have good stuff. Anyway, that's kind of besides my point. I feel like the perks of stores like Zara, H&M, like Forever 21 when it was a thing, we all knew it was fast fashion, but like the trade-off was that it was super cheap. Like, Zara used to be super cheap. Now I feel like Zara is kind of positioned as like a higher end brand. Their branding always was very classy and suggested that, but like, it's crap. So is H&M. Like I said, I went into the new Mango in the mall to check it out. It was just Zara, but even more expensive. And it's at the point where, like, I don't really know how to phrase this. Fast fashion, like, isn't even a guilty pleasure anymore because it costs just as much as stuff that's better quality. Which is why I think I only shop at the same places forever. Workout clothes, Lulu and Aritzia. Most of my clothes, Aritzia. Even like Aloe is a really good example. Their stuff is really cute. It is so expensive and it is terrible quality. Like, of all the activewear brands, Aloe feels like the most expensive and the quality is the worst. I have a few things from there and I love them. They're so cute and I want to wear them more, but they're like, they pill, they stretch. I think the annoying thing is like, you can't even pay for quality anymore. As much as I want to like hate on fast fashion, it's nice to have something that's cute and kind of accessible to everyone. Ethics aside, which is like a whole nother conversation and very important. But like, that's not even a thing. You can't go to Zara and get like a cheap top anymore. It's $45 for like, I don't know, like a little tank top. It's ridiculous. I spent that same $45, $50 on this shirt from Aritzia that's 100% cotton, and I know it's gonna last like all my other pieces from there. I guess my point is like, why are even the cheap stores not cheap anymore? I feel like there's no longer a more affordable product that just is lower quality because of the price. Like, all of it's expensive. And I think that's like really disappointing too. If you spend a lot of money on something you assume is going to be really nice because it costs $80, it's going to fall apart. It's not going to last more than like 2 years. The threads are going to fall apart. It's 100% polyester. It drives me crazy. Those are kind of just my thoughts as, you know, somebody that does a lot of knitting, has been into making clothes for a long time. I don't know, I feel like I have a good understanding of fiber quality and what goes into making a nice garment. Also, like the price points of those materials and what they should cost. No clothing brand is gonna be perfect. I feel like this is just a friendly reminder that something being expensive does not automatically mean that it's going to be good quality, because that is actually most of the time not the case.
That is probably one of the biggest fallacies there is when it comes to clothing. The fact that it's priced up really high means that it's going to be good quality. We know that's not the case now. We need to really give our heads a shake if we ever go into a store and we see something expensive. We just automatically are going to be like, wow, it's good quality. No, not really. Not at all. In fact, a good motto to go by is if something's new, it's probably not as well made as in the past. You know, that's why clothing from the 90s is better quality than clothing now. That's why even watches back in the day, they were all handmade. So there was a lot of craftsmanship that went into them. Now everything is made with machines, right? So, you know, it might be made faster, but it lacks a little bit of, you know, human care to it, is kind of what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, hope you liked today's video. Hope you learned something from today's video. And if you did, hit the like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.